All right, so it's 9:06, I believe. I'm going to start the class to finish everything on time. Again, I believe that I'm in the right meeting. Just in case, I always double check this, But yes, this is the one. I mean, all right. Okay, I'll start, right? Or just in case, again, I'm going to double check something because I want to be sure that we are in the same meeting. All right, so yes, it seems that everything is good. I am going to start, okay? So today we have to cover future and something related to abilities. Let me, all right, have the full screen. I remember now, all right, you told me about will and would. We're going to try to mention this if you are here. But anyways, I'm going to start with will, okay? We have two ways to talk about will. We have will, that is the simple future, and we have be going to, that is also future, but this doesn't have a specific name, all right? It is just called future with be going to. Hello, Danitza, how are you? Is everything okay? Can you hear me? Let me know, please. I cannot hear you. Your microphone is off. Let me know, please, if everything is okay. I'm going to continue with the lesson.
Hi, Josely. Yes, everything's okay.
All right, good. If you're listening to what I'm saying, then it's good. Now, I'm going to continue, all right? So I was saying this is the introduction for the next lesson, that is future. I was saying that we are going to work, or we are working with will and be going to. And we're starting with will. They have main differences, but actually, now that you're here with me and Anita, I was giving the introduction myself. But now I want to ask you what you know about this. What do you know about the difference between will and be going to, Danitza? What can you tell me about it? Or perhaps you also told me, are you able to speak right now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, both are used to express something in the future. Both are followed by verbs and I don't know in the base form of the verb. And I think be going to is you use be going to when you want to express that you are going to do something that you previously have the opportunity to think about it and then give an answer or make an arrangement. But will is used for like an expression when you're in the moment and you want to um, offer yourself or something um, in at the moment. I don't know if it's okay.
Yes. Thank you, Nanita. Yes, you know about this one again. I know that you have the grammatical knowledge, so I know that you will always have the right answer. All right, we can expand more, of course, but the basics, that's great. Will decision made at the moment of speaking be going to something planned, right? What you said. So good. We have more, of course. We're going to try to take a look at that. Here we have some elements with will. Okay, so besides what you said, that is the last one, decisions made at the moment of speaking. We also use will for predictions based on opinions, for future facts, for offers, promises, and something that we don't have here, declinal and refusal. All right, for all of those, mainly refusal. So one more time, predictions based on opinion, future facts, offers or promises, the refusal, and decisions made at the moment of speaking. But the ones that you have here, they are the most important ones that you should know. And we know how to use them. I know that you know the grammatical structure, always the base form as you mentioned. So we're going to take a look at these four examples. Each of them is exemplifying one of the usages for will. So let's read the four of them, please, Danita.
Okay, I go to the party tonight. I think that there will be problems tomorrow. The doctor says that the effect of the future medicine will start tomorrow. I'll go to your party next year. You will see. You'll see.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, if we analyze very briefly, the first one is part of a conversation, right? You are walking on the street, you find a friend, and you have a conversation with him or her. He or she tells you about a party. You don't have anything planned. You don't know if you want to go, but he or she convinces you, all right, in a certain way. And you say, okay, I'll go, right? So that's a decision, that is a decision story made at the moment of speaking. That's not something planned. It's something that you're deciding at that exact moment at which you are saying, okay, I will go, right? So it's not planned. Then I think that there will be problems tomorrow. You don't know. Okay. Perhaps you don't even have the evidence. Actually, you don't have the evidence. You're just saying that because you have a feeling. Okay. And, of course, that can be true sometimes, statistics, right? Statistically speaking, you can be right or not. Sometimes people are right. Statistically, it happens, and they believe that they have the power to predict the future, right? But besides that, uh, when there's a coincidence, it doesn't mean that you knew it, right? Grammatically speaking, also, it's not that you know that there will be problems, but you think because you have a feeling or something happened and you kind of feel sure about it. Okay, if you are actually pretty sure about it, you can say there will be problems. But remember, you are not using any evidence. This is not because you have something that supports that idea. It's just because you are saying so. And again, it could be or not, but this is what you think. Then the doctor says that the effect of the medicine will start tomorrow. This is future fact, not because the doctor says. The doctor is giving you information about something that will happen because that's how nature and that's how universe works. That the medicine, all right, has an effect and it will affect you is not the doctor's decision, is not your decision, is not anybody's decision, okay? Future fact is no one's decision. It is how it works, all right? It's nature, all right? That's very important to understand. Future fact is nature, is not any plans, not any decisions. Then I'll go to your party next year, you'll see. This is more like promise, right? If you want to promise something, you say, I'll do it. But that's it. Now we're going to practice these four elements and Anita. We have one more that I would like you to practice that is refusal. Okay, refusal. In Spanish, you use the present idea. Okay, for example, you say you are calling your friend all right? You're calling your friend once and over again, and your friend doesn't, all right, answer your calls. So you say, I don't know what happens, but my friend won't answer my phone calls. And it's not future, okay? Refusal is present. In the present, this person won't do it. When something is repeated many times in a negative way, you don't say my friend doesn't answer my phone calls. No, you say my friend won't answer my phone calls. All right, anything that is repeated in the present is going to be denial or refusal, and you use that with will in negative, but in that case it doesn't have a negative, or sorry, a future connotation. That's why he's not part of this list, Danitza. But I'm telling you because I remember that yesterday you told me about will and would. So that's another usage of will. All right, refusal. And we have one more, but again, you're going to ask me if you have any questions. So you're going to write a total of 6 examples. The next one and the last one. So you have all of them for the future, the 4 of them that you have here, future, plus one that is for present, that is refusal, something that repeatedly, all right, was not possible because of any reason. Okay, for example, but about someone else. For example, you can say, this girl won't give me a chance. And it's not like in the future. No, now she's always saying no, no, no. And if I know if I ask her out again, she will say no. But again, more than future is that now in the present, she's going to say no again. So she won't give me a chance. Present. And the last one for will is um, request. All right, in a polite way. For example, will you help me with this? All right, will you help me with this? And actually, no, that one is not going to be polite. That's going to be kind of casual. All right, it's more like can you help me with this? Will you help me with this? The best options are could and would. Would you help me with this? Could you help me with this? Those are formal. But can and will are a little bit informal and more casual. All right. And it's just for requesting something. Again, also that not in future, not in real future, it's for present. It can also be extended to future, but it's present mainly now. Will you help me now, please? Okay. Will you help me now? And again, the translation of will in that case, more than the translation, the meaning is the same as can, as could, as would, but it is again casual as can. All right, can you help me now? Will you help me now? They are the same. So those are 2 extra things that are not here, Danitza, but I'm talking about them because again, your request yesterday. Those are the main ways in which you use future. Let me know if you have any questions now, please, because now we're going to write 6 examples, one for each type. 4 for the examples that you see over here, and 2 for the extra elements that I told you, refusal and request. So what do you say, David? Let me know, please.
Yes, um I've already know about those two examples, so kind of what can I say, situations in which you could use will. So that's okay, but it's good because I now it's more clear. So I took notes, so it's okay.
Okay, let's do it then, please. Yes, I was putting emphasis on that because yesterday you told me that you were not sure about will, right? But actually, this is will. Just this is will plus the 2. So let's go, please, to the document that we have, Danitza, and let's write 6 examples. Okay, one example per type. And in parentheses, you're going to tell me what type you are using over there, like you have here, right? In the first one, you need a context to make clear that this is a decision at the moment of speaking. And the same for the rest of them. Give me the example, and in parentheses, you tell me what type of, well, what's the usage you're using for a will. All right, let's do it, please. And we check your examples. 6 examples. We're going to have more or less 5 minutes. If you finish before that time, please let me know.
Okay.
All right, so we're about those 5 minutes. We're going to take a look at what you got in. Anita, finish that idea and let's read what you got, please.
Okay.
All right, let's read, please, and then I give you my feedback.
Okay. I'm ready for this test. I will ask for an extension. I believe I didn't finish this because I only have the same narrative. So I couldn't, I don't know, find another example. The lake will be frozen by tomorrow. I will help you with your goals. Her phone doesn't get any signal. She wants where until she came back to city. I'm not sure about the last one.
All right, thank you very much, Danitza. In general, they are good, but of course, we're going to check at least the last one, okay? Number 5. And number 2, let's do number 2 now together, please. Okay, number 1 is good. I'm not ready for this test. I will ask for an extension. Yes. You can change also the due date to extend the due date, right? Or I will ask for the due date to be extended. That also can be another alternative, but it's good. Mainly number 2. In number 2, actually, you have a lot of options, Anitza, because you can give me a prediction based on your opinion. It means it doesn't have to make sense actually because it's based on your opinion. So whatever you believe that will happen, it's okay. You don't need any evidence. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Here it's you and your mind and what you believe. Okay, so
Mm.
what prediction can you give me about the future, Danitza? Anything that you think about it?
I believe, I think, mm, I believe that the scores are going to be very low. No, they will fail the test. Could be something like that.
Okay, yes, anything. That's good. But remember, you don't say are going to be, right? You say will be.
I will. Will,
Uh-huh.
sorry.
Good. Let's write that, please, to have it there. Then it's good. It's an example. It's what you believe. So yes, it is correct. Good. And you say that, and it's again, you use will here because imagine that you don't know their score. You don't know how they are doing. But imagine that you don't like them. Okay, you don't like them, and you say, yes, I believe they will fail the test. They don't seem very smart. Okay, so you're saying that because you hate them. Okay, that's one example. Or you heard, all right, many years ago that they were not good at school, and you believe that they are not good also now at college, and you say, yes, I believe they will fail the test. But again, it's no evidence that you have. It's not real information. It's not reality. It's you and your beliefs, you and your thinking, you and your thoughts. Okay? And when that's the game, you can say anything you want, Anita. All right? Anything you want because you don't, again, you don't have evidence and you need to prove, you don't need to prove anything to anyone, as I said. All right? That's why number 2 actually is very open. All right? Because you can say anything there. So far we're good. Number 1, yes. Number 2, Number 3, yes, because you can say that it is expected that those temperatures will freeze, right? the lake, and that's going to be a natural consequence. So yes, if that's natural, correct. I will help you with your goals. That's a promise, right? So we don't have write that in parentheses, but I know this is then decision made at the moment of speaking, number one. Number two, write prediction without evidence or based on opinion. Number three, this is future facts. Number four, this is a promise. Number five, now, in number five, this is not correct. Why? And not because of the elements. We have some elements we have to correct. Because here you're giving me a future idea in negative, but not a refusal. All right? Not a refusal. Actually, a refusal is going to be that, right? Well, what is to refuse something? Is to say no, 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 no. Or what you don't actually know what's happening. If you know what's happening, right? Her phone doesn't get any signal. You know that because of that, she cannot answer. And she won't answer until this is future. And also because you're saying until. If you're saying that, this is future. Okay? But to use will as refusal is not future. Okay? It's a present and repetitive negative action from someone to you. Okay, again, take my example as asking a girl out. Imagine that I always ask a girl out. Okay, do you want to go out? Do you want to go to a party? Do you want to go to dance? And she says no, 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 right? And I insist, and no, no, no. And then I can say no because I'm going to ask her again. But as a general conclusion, in the present, for that situation, for that refusal, I can say, but she won't accept my proposal, right? Or she won't go out with me. But not because I want to say she won't go out with me this weekend or in the future. No, that in the present, in this reality, she's always saying no, 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 no. And to describe that situation, I say that. Okay, she won't go out with me. I believe it's because I don't like, or well, she doesn't like me. All right, she doesn't like me. But that's it. Okay, that's the idea of refusal. Here again, this is not a refusal because it's a future situation that is related to a time clause until she. Now, this is going to be correct, all right, but this is not going to be future refusal. But to make it correct, also, you don't use past, right? To talk about this idea, you have to use here present, right? Until she comes back to the city, all right? And here, of course, we have the apostrophe. So that should be it, all right? But again, this is like a normal future situation in with will. All right, so we're missing two. We're going to do these two together. Refusal, remember, refusal is not future. Will, in this case, is working as present. And a request is also not future. Request is present. It can be related to future, yes, but usually it's a present request because it means can, it means could, it means would when you ask for something. All right, so what do you say? Let's think of these two possibilities, Danitza. What example can you give me with refusal?
Maybe, well, I was thinking about people that are vegetarian. How can I say it? Vegetarian. How can I say alimentación?
It depends. It can be feeding, but also you say alimentation sometimes, but feeding, the feeding. But in that case, you have to think of something. As that's something, and you know what vegetarians do and they don't do, it's not going to be refusal, right? Because you know that they don't eat meat, right? In that case, you are describing a characteristic. In order to make that a refusal, it has to be about something that is being rejected many times. but actually you don't know why. Okay, but
Oh,
you are
okay.
being rejected in a certain way.
Maybe it could be uh, I don't know. When girls and boys with less than 18 years old want to get into a club and they are rejected. Could be. We can make something with this situation, with that situation.
Yes, that idea can be, again, in a certain way, if it's right, they have a certain age and they know that there's a limit, right, to get, for example, into a nightclub and they are rejected over there. We know that it's because of their age. But yes, you can say, right, they always try to get in, but they won't get in. Okay, they won't get in general, right? Because they are constantly rejected. All right, so you can always give um, a context to understand why you're using want in that case. And again, in most of the cases, is because someone or something is being rejected. And again, it's in most of the cases, it's not because it's a characteristic of something, right? It's because it's actually a decision that someone makes. More than a general rule, it's a decision. But in your case, if you put a good context, you can use refusal. So what do you say? How can you organize that idea to use the refusal? Remember that you have to say want, and that want is not future, that want is a present description of a refusal. So what do you say? What comes to your mind?
Mhm. Um, you don't know. They don't. They don't. Oh,
You can give the first description. What is the attempts? What is the set of attempts that someone is doing? In your example, you can say, they always try to get into that place. Okay, so in that case, you're explaining what is the repetition, right? What is someone trying to do? I'm always trying to ask that girl out. I always try to pass to the next level, or I always try to do this. They always try to do that and that. Okay, so you're missing good. You're missing just the verb to be, right? Always trying to get
there are.
into that place. Or the nightclub. It's good. Mhm.
I was trying to get into a club. Their period, right? So then.
Yes, it can be a period, it can be semicolon, it can be comma. It depends how you connect to the next idea, right? But it depends, right? It depends what you're going to write afterwards. But you can say in the next part, they won't get in, right? You are saying that they are constantly rejected, right? And you can say they won't get in, though, for example, or however they won't get in, or although they won't get in, right? Describing the
However,
situation of how they are constantly rejected. Uh-huh. Or if it's however, it has to be at the beginning. If it's though, it can be at the end. Uh-huh. If it's however, it's going to be however, they won't get in. Nevertheless, they won't get in. But if it's at the end, you need a comma and though, that it's the same as however.
mm, mm,
Uh-huh. There you go. All right. So good. Now, what I'm showing here again, Danitza, is that in this case, will is not future, is used
mm,
as refusal. Only when you show that someone or something has been trying and trying and trying something, or a situation has been repeated many times, and the result of that situation, it has always been no, no, no. All right, just because again, they are being rejected. Okay, that's number 6. We need one more please in this case, and it's because will be going to is going to be very easy. With that, we're finished. It's going to be very simple because it only has two. Will has these six, even more. But be going to only has two ways to use it in general. And so the last one, Danitza, is request. You can give me any question in which you use can or could or would, but instead of those, you use will because it's the same in that case. So what do you say? What request can you write?
Something like, so will you talk to me now? Something like that.
Okay, yes. Uh-huh. All right. Yes, grammatically speaking, this is valid. Remember, it's going to be like a very casual option. The best options are going to be can you talk to me now? Or could you talk to me now? Or would you talk to me now? But in this case, it is good. And remember, there is only one situation in which it is formal, Danitza. Do you know that situation? In what situation is will like a formal request?
Will.
It's a common question when you are in love with someone and you want to spend.
Marry me? Something like that.
Exactly. Yes. Will you marry me? Yes. That's the question, right? And that's a request, but more like a proposal, right? But in that case, will is formal. But in all the rest of the requests, will is going to be kind of casual. And the best options are the ones that I told you, right? Can, could, and would. But that's it. These are the 6 ways. I don't know now if you have any questions now that we practice a little bit. Let me know, please, Danitza.
No, not really. I think I need to think more about these kind of expressions because, pardon, sorry. I think I have the idea, but it's it seems to be incorrect. But at the end, it's okay.
Yes, and no worries. Yes, I mean your examples were pretty good, but I mean just the meaning of the entire idea was a little bit different, right? At least the last one. The rest of it seemed to be pretty good, all right? And also this one, your last example about request, it is good. Just be careful with refusal. This is the only one you have to be careful with, and be sure of practicing with the other ones. But again, we're good. Now, we have these 15 minutes that are going to be more than enough to practice with be going to. So let's go there. All right, be going to. We know will. All right, be going to. As I told you, mainly 2 ways of using be going to. Predictions based on evidence. Now, you cannot say, right, I think they will win the election. No. If you want to say, I think they are going to win the election, or they are going to win the election only, you have evidence to prove that. And your evidence is going to be the context that you mentioned or what you mentioned afterwards, right? It can be yesterday, right? I saw the polls and this candidate, right, has like 80% of approval. And because of that, I think that he is going to win the elections, right? So you have evidence, statistics, polls, you have numbers that help you say something like that. And when it's a plan, of course, easy, right? You call your dentist, you say, I don't know if you're free, right? On Friday at 3 p.m., I would like to have an appointment, right? A professional appointment. So you agree with that and you have a plan, right? On Friday, I'm going to go to the dentist at 3 p.m., right? And that's again a plan that you got. So pretty simple, right? Predictions based on opinion, sorry, based on evidence and plans. It's kind of the opposite to will in some cases. The only thing that is strong about will is future facts. But everything else about will is kind of weak. In comparison, be going to seems to be very strong because you need evidence and you need a very concrete plan. All right, with that said, we have only these two examples over here. Let's read these two, please, Danita. These two examples.
Mm, I'm going to see the dentist tomorrow at 3 p.m. Look at the clouds in the sky, it's going to rain.
There you go, right? Very common and simple examples. The first one is a plan, because of how specific you are. And the second one is evidence, because you have your evidence here. In this case, this can be a perceptual evidence, right? Because something that you see, the clouds. And because of that, your prediction based on that evidence is that it is going to rain. All right, so if you have questions about this, Danitza, let me know. If not, we're going to have some time because this is the last practice that we have for today, that we have the 10 minutes. You're going to give not only two examples, you're going to give me a set of ideas here, Danitza. I mean, you're going to try to tell me things that you have planned for tomorrow or for this week until the weekend. Of course, they can be true or you can make that up. Okay, they can be true or you can make that up. And for the next one also, tell me some things that you heard, that you saw, right, in the news or any place that are evidence for you to say something for the future. All right, I'm going to give you, like, again, a total of 5 to 6 minutes. And in those 6 minutes, please, you're not going to have a limit. Okay, you're not going to have a limit. But in those 6 minutes, try to tell me as many plans and as many predictions with evidence that you can. Everything will be going to, but again, the limit is going to be set by you. All right, I don't know if you have any questions, Danita. Let me know, please.
Yes, I am just going to pick, or I need to write something
Yes, everything is going to be written. Everything
written.
is going to be written. Exactly. So you need to write a set of examples. For example, you can say, tomorrow I am going to go to this place at this time. Then I am going to complete this at this time. On Friday, I'm going to do this and this at this time and this time, and so on, right? So you give me the plans that you have. And then afterwards, or you can mix, right? Some plans, then predictions, right? You can see, I saw this in the news, and that's why I believe or I know this is going to happen tomorrow, or this is going to happen next week, or next year, or in 5 years. I don't know, right? Because you have statistics, you have numbers, you have an expert's opinion, you have evidence, perceptual evidence. All right, anything that works as evidence for you to say something in the future. All right, so it can be a mix between plans and predictions, everything written in the document. I'm going to give you 5 to 6 minutes so that you can write as much as you can. And I mean as many plans and as many predictions. All right, I don't know if you have any other questions about that.
No, everything's okay.
Okay, let's do it, please, then. All right, so let's take a look at what you got, please. And again, today was very simple with these ideas, but we are going to check to see how it went. And we finished the class with that. So let's read all the ideas that you got, please, Danita.
Okay, after this meet ends, I'm going to make some task of work that I've been it's postposed. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Postposed. I don't know. Because I know that my boss is going to ask for vacations. This is another idea. I think those are here separate. Because I know my boss is going to ask for vacation. I'm going to spend more hours in meetings this week. This Friday, I'm going to see a quiz at 3 p.m. Therefore, I need to complete some projects.
All right, thank you very much, Danita. Now, again, my last feedback, as you requested also, I'm going to do it over here. So, in general, again, it's good, but we have these details that are very important. This you can talk about a meetup when you are meeting someone for the first time, or you having an encounter. But in this case, if it's going to be an activity, it is good to call it meeting. All right. And but I don't know if you are talking about that, because yes, I believe you're going to make some tasks. So yes, you're talking about a meeting. All right. So this one, or encountering or encounter one of those. All right, after this meeting ends, all right, I'm going to make some task. Yes, task, it depends. Usually task is going to be countable. So it should be some tasks, but of work that I've been. Now here you have options, all right? Here we have many things to change perhaps. You can say only some work to do, okay? Because if you say some tasks of work, okay, perhaps here you want to say from work, because if you say of work, that's not going to be connected directly. Or you can simply say over here, I have some work to do. Okay, work to do, or some tasks to complete. That's going to be better, all right? Because if you say tasks from work, it sounds a little bit off. But again, task, usually it is countable. So it's going to be task or tasks. And if you're saying some, it has to be tasks, all right? Then from work, of work, no, from work, because that's the origin of your tasks, of your set of tasks. And again, these are my recommendations over here. Some work to do or some tasks to complete. Okay, that's going to be more natural in this case. Now, if you say postponed, if you want to say that, don't say been, because this has to be active voice. If you say I have been postponed, this is passive voice, right? You can say that the tasks have been postponed, all right? But this is not passive, this is active. So I'm going to give you the options. Also, you can use, perhaps here it sounds good to use the continuous form, because it has connection with the present, okay? But the one that you want to say here is going to be postponed, all right? That I postponed. That's one option. The other option is that you can use the present perfect continuous, right? That I've been postponing. All right, that's going to be the other option that you got over there. And remember, postpone is one option. You can say put off, right? That I've put off, that's another alternative, because put doesn't change, right? Or that I've been putting off. That's the other alternative that you got. Okay, but again, it's repeated. I'm repeating the same idea, but those are the alternatives that you got. That it's all right. That I put off. Here, 1.2. Here, and of course here I need the object because I'm not mentioning here, but if it's here, you don't need the object. Then, because I know that my boss is going to ask for All right. Yes, for vacations. I don't know what's the thing that they have here. You can say that in plural. It's not a big deal. Of course, it's more formal if you say only vacation or vacation, but I'm not going to take that as something that you have to do. I'm going to spend some hours in meeting, all right, the next week. Here, perhaps you don't need to say the next week unless you want to talk about a very specific next week, right? The next week I do this, I will finish with this and that, right? If not, no. In meeting also, unless you're talking about something very general, then here you're going to need it. Okay, so you have to decide. It depends what's the idea that you want to transmit in these two elements over here. All right. Then Friday, remember, always with capital letter, all the days of the week, months, and so on. I'm going to the oculus, only one C over here. All right, at 3 p.m. Therefore, very good. I need to complete some projects. Okay, I'm going to see, yes. So that's it. Those are my recommendations, my corrections over here. We finished with this, Danitza. I don't know if you have any questions about these details or any comments. Let me know, please, if you do.
Mm, yes, about um, the sentence with because I was trying to say that I'm going to spend more hours, specifically the next week, because the next week my my boss is going to be in the Bahamas, I think so. So that was the idea. So the emphasis is the next week I am going to attempt his meetings because he is off.
All right. In that case, but even that being the case, Anitza, it's not a very specific next week. It's not bad if you say the next week, but in this case, grammatically speaking, it's not necessary. It's only necessary as when you say people, right? When do you say people? When do you say the people? You say people when you know you're talking about people. You say next week because it's not next week. Next week cannot be the following week to the next week. Next week cannot be in 2 weeks, right? Next week is next week. We all know when next week is, right? And we can say, if you take a look at that now, we know that next week starts on, at least right in this logic, on Monday the 17th until Sunday the 23rd. Okay, let's say following that logic. So if that is clear, then we don't need to say the next week. And again, with the people, we only say the people and not, yes, we say the people and not people when we want to say, for example, the people in the party are very happy, right? When we want to mention a very specific group of people. The same here next week. And unless you're talking about a next week that is very special, right? The next week to my or after my birthday, or the following week after I finish this, right? In that case, you can say this in a justified way. Okay, the next week to this event, the next week to this element, I will do this, right? Comma, I will do this. But if you're only saying next week at the end, and perhaps the context is clear, and next week is the real next week, then you don't need to use that. All right, you're only going to use that one more time to finish. If you're going to say something after next week that is going to clarify what next week you are talking about. All right, but again, if we don't have that clarification, next week is more than enough grammatically speaking. Again, it's not incorrect if you say the next week, but there's no justification in doing that. I don't know if you have questions about that idea. Let me know, please.
Okay, that was clear. And about the case of the meeting, how could this be in order to express my thoughts?
Yes, it's just that to me it's not clear. When you say I'm going to spend more hours in meeting, you are talking about in general, general, because you are in meetings, because you have a lot of meetings with your
Mm,
work over there, you're going to be more time there in general? Or what's the idea that you want to say when you say spend more time in meetings or in meeting in general?
just because my boss is who is in charge of the meetings to lead the meetings, but because he is going to be on his vacations, I am going to be responsible to attend the meetings next week.
Okay, good. So in that case, it will happen the same as task. I'm saying here in the meeting in general, but if it's not just one meeting and it's very general, it happens the same as here, Danitza. Then this has to be countable. So you have options. You're going to say, I'm going to spend more hours in meetings in general, or you can say over here in our meetings, or even in the meetings that we have, all right, or the meetings before this asking. But then this also has to change, because you're talking about not only one meeting in general, but a set of meetings in which you're going to be spending more time. Okay, my recommendation is to have only meetings, or our meetings, or the meetings that we have. That those are going to be the alternatives.
Yeah, okay.
All right. It can be the meeting, but again, as you're talking about many meetings, many encounters before that next week you're referring to, then it has to be plural. And one of these elements that is going to identify what is the set of specific meetings that you're talking about before that time. Okay, so just that one. Perhaps there are more doubts. You're going to please save those for tomorrow. But any other little detail now before finishing, please let me know.
No, everything's okay. Thank you.
All right. So please, we're going to complete this element. I'm sharing the survey with you that is over there. Now, again, because of the time, because I'm kind of late for the next one, I have to leave now. I'll see you then on Friday, Anita, to continue working with this. Any other doubts that you might have about we'll be going to or these specific elements, we're going to cover them all right at the beginning of our class.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night. See you then.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.